What is up, guys? This is Kai. We're back with another deck profile. Today I'm going to be showcasing you guys the deck I've been used to won the Yugioh League Cup Qualifiers, which is Kashtira. I managed to win first place at this tournament. For you guys didn't know what this tournament is, basically it's just like a regional, but this is the first time we ever held a League Cup tournament. The winners of every local shops, which is the first place, gets to join the main event, but the date is yet to know. So I'm kind of surprised that I won it. Like, did not expect it at all. I just wanted to have fun and train for the maybe next year's Worlds or any qualifiers, but I managed to get first place. Yes, I'm still using Kashtira, not tier elements, although tier elements is tier 0, but I'm still not going to play it because I still believe that the deck choice I made is correct and I want to try something else. So without further ado, let's get into the profile. I'll explain the card choices. So start off with the best opening monster. We have 3 Kashtira Unicorn. This card is absolutely insane. When you just combo off an opponent Ash Blossoms, you still get to rip their Ash decks. And also this is the 1-card combo starters. Of course, it is not the most safe to open first, because if you get impermanence, you got no extenders, you just gonna leave by this card alone. And of course, the second best card that is Kashtira Fenrir. This is the most optimal, I would say, especially going second. This card baits out a lot of things, and also not a bad card to draw going first. You can special it to search Rise Heart and you still get the combo off. A lot of people think that Kashtira is just a combo deck, but it's not just a combo deck. It's also like more to endurance deck, like the first release of Salamangreats. You don't OTK during the next turn or the first turn you go. You want to do endurance until the next turn you have enough resources and then just push for games. So that's why I maxed out the level 7s. And of course the Rise Hearts. Some people play 2, I prefer 3 because I have played more Kashtira Papias, which is why I play 3. It's not the worst to draw, and it's not really a dead card. If you have the right extenders like Kashtira Birth or Papias, you still get to combo off. And of course, this is the reason why the deck is so broken. You get to banish your opponent's top decks face down, and you get to lock card by the effect of Shangri-Las, and you get to trigger to summon Rise Hearts. And the one else, I would play the Scareclaw Kashtiras. I play this because it is like the AOJ version of Impermanence. The monster that battles Kashtira or Scareclaw, it negates its effect at the end of turns. So you get anything that you can't ran over, you just use it and then negates its effect to use others to pop it off. That's all for the Kashtira monsters. I only play 10. And for the hand traps, I play the most optimal, which is 3 Ash, 3 Maxis, and 3, I believe this is called Night Moon. I only play this because this is the most optimal line of hand traps, and for this is good against the mirror match or against tier elements. Especially tier elements is a turn 0 decks. They can fusions during your own turn. If they like go Halfness or Kashtira tiers, they mirror, they summon the Kid Kalos, you drop this, they can't extend any further, and you have ways to banish them, like using the Rise Heart or Big Eye. They can extend during the next turns, they're gonna lose their resources. And for the one-offs, I play the Wind Barrier Statue for the combo, and 1 Pathfinder for the normal summon slots. And this is a really weird choice. I decided to play this because essentially you have the fuse spell equals full combos. So I use this to bait out like Ash Impermanence and then just go off with other stuff. This card is not really a brick draw if you go in first or anything. It is worse going second, you draw this, but if you go first, you can make all your Kashtira's normal combos and then just summon it. They still have to enter battle phase to whack it before they are even combo. We wasted their turn a lot, so which is why it's important to play, in my opinion at least. That's all for the monsters. For the spell, I play the 3 Paleos. This card is insane. Searches card, pop a card, and also gains attack. The gains attack is very crucial. Sometimes you need the extra damage. And for the extenders, I play 2 Birth and 3 Papias. I was playing 2 Papias, but when I popped up the Rise Heart into 3. I needed this even more. Birth is really nice if you draw like Fenrir and Unicorn at the same time. You summon Unicorn. If your effect resolves, you get to search. You search for Birth, and then you use Birth effect to normal summon again your Fenrirs. You still get to combo off. Even if you get Nibiru, you can use this to bring back your Fenrir or anything. You still get to extend or even make a stable board until the next turns. And the next up is the one terraformings and 1 tactics. These tactics overperform in my opinion, but especially when the game tree against tier elements. He summoned the Kikalos in and then uses the effect. I like impermed it, or I use this and then the effects negated, and Kid Kalos is the attack position, so I use this to take over, take controls, and then just attack it for games. This is very crucial in the mirror match as well, because since Arise Heart is a mandatory effects, and if you use any effects that triggers like Fenrirs or Unicorns, you're gonna steal it and use the effects on your own. And also you steal the Arise Heart, since Arise Heart is compulsory effects. If you activate this, you choose to take controls. If they don't chain in anything, once you resolve, you take control of the Arise Heart. It is mostly game because you have to banish them for free, and you don't even have to return to them. You can use them to make your own Arise Hearts. And also 2 prosperity for the consistency purpose. I use it every single turn. Also, if you use this, you get to trigger the Arise Hearts effects. You can attach whichever from the banish zones. Also, it is good, especially going second. You use this and then you banish 6, you add whichever you want, and then it's gonna trigger opponent's Arise Hearts and they're gonna attach it, and if you somehow open the tactics, you can just take control and even combo off without using your own resources. And for anti-hand traps would be 2 Call by the Grave and 1 Cross Out. Cross Out definitely not the best, but Call by overperform, especially against the tier elements. I didn't necessarily use it against hand traps because sometimes I believe I can play through hand trap easily. I use this against like Halfness or Kid Kalos when they send, and then use this to banish the effects they wanted to fusions, and allows them to losses resources, and I get to make a stable board for next turns. And for trap class 1, the most brick I would believe is Kashtira's Big Bang. This is like very awful if you drawn, but not as awful as if you open this and no extender whatsoever. You can always banish it with your Scarecrow Kashtiras, so it's okay to have it. If you want to side it out, I would probably do it almost every single game, but not necessarily if I go first. And the last 3 cards in my deck will be 3 Impermanents. This card is good going second against Kashtiras. Against Mirror Match, you don't want to Ash like recklessly. You might get triggered the Unicorns effect and you're losing a extra deck. And also use this against Arise Heart or anything else. It's really optimal to use. That's all for the main deck. Is 40 cards, and for the extra decks is the bread and butter, 2 Shangri-Las and 2 Arise Hearts. Arise Heart is my next favorite card in the format, especially if you summon this and your opponent have thousands of ways like tactics it, evenly, or even mind control it. You can use this effect to banish itself so you don't get like take control by your opponents. Yes, you lost some monsters, but at least this is better than losing 2 monsters. Also, banishing itself face down doesn't really matter because the second piece doesn't necessarily came up, but when it do, it's mostly game, so you want to play 2 piece, and that is why it is here. And next off is the price card, Mind Hacker. This card is really insane, especially if you against the decks like Tier Elements or the Mirror Match. You use, if your opponent's hand trap you, use the Unicorn to banish a Kid Kalos, and then you make Mind Hacker to banish another Kid Kalos. They don't have extender anymore. Their deck is just slowed down a lot. Against the Mirror Match, I usually banish the Divine Arsenal AA Zeus. Otherwise, I just banish another copies of their Mind Hackers, so they don't bother a lot. Also, against the Mirror Match, if they don't open Fenrirs, you end up with Mind Hacker, Shangri-Las, and Fenrir, and with only 2 monsters slot on your field. If they don't have Mind Hacker or Big Eye anything to counter you, they're gonna lose a lot of advantage, especially if you have Fenrirs on the field. And for the removal cards, we have Dracossack, Dark Metal, and the Red Eyes for Time Cost, Big Eye, Vornik, Arsenal Falcon, Titanic Moth for the Zeus package. This is for the Wind Barrier statue. This is here mainly because of Link 6, the instant arrival, because some of the Kashtira lists they make rank Link 6 on the field with 4,000 attacks and I can't get it by anything. Kashtira got no answer to it, so that's why I play this. Its effects is you can detach 2 materials on it, target one face-up card on the field in either player's field. If you do, destroy it. Then you may choose one monster on your field, gain attack 300s for each of the ranks or level if it's a monster, so it can destroy itself. And then since it's a rank 7, so you can have one monster to gain 2100 attack until enough turns. But this card cannot attack during the turn it activates its effects. So what we do here is we make this and then we have another monster on the field. You can pop itself and have that another monster gain 2100 attacks. Any Kashtira monsters except Rise Heart plus this equals 4600 damage. You can attack through the arrival, and if your opponent have a token on their field, if they use it to pop anything during the previous turns, they don't have birth, they can't summon any Kashtira monster from their hand. They start with 1 tokens on the field and they can't special their monster when there are no monster on the field. They have to rely on Rise Hearts and their Papias to give their extents. And if you playing this, you have like the Rise Heart on the field, they summon anything, you just banish it, it's almost game. And for this is just for the Zeus package, and also these others are self-mandatory. And for the optional package is 1 Baroness the Fleur and 1 Donna of the Fur Hire. Donna here is because if I get Nibiru, if I have a normal summon these turns and I haven't used Rise Heart's effect during the previously, I can summon anything to link summon with the tokens and then pop itself and pop Nibiru, and I empty my own field. I still get to extend my Kashtiras when I have no monster on the field, which sometimes came out quite a lot. Baroness is just the extra push. Sometimes you summon your Kashtiras and you don't have any more extenders, but you have multiple similar hand traps. You can just summon one, make the Baroness, and then use the Baroness effect to negate during your opponent's turn, and during a standby phase you can return it and special summon back this Kashtira monster from your grave that you use to synchro summon it, which to extend even further. And for the side decks, of course, the most powerful side deck of all, which is 2 Dimension Shifters. I never drew this, especially against the tier elements. When I opened my hand, I didn't saw this, I thought I was gonna lose, but it is what it is. I draw it during the late game when I don't even have a lot of cards in my graveyard. I have 1 Papias and then I have the Scarecrow Kashtiras. I use the effects to banish my Papias from the graveyards, and my graveyard is empty. I still get to discard this and resolve it, so it won me the game. And also this card doesn't affect the decks that much. This deck doesn't banish a lot. It doesn't matter if you banish or not. If you banish the correct things, it even benefits your decks. And for the other two I never saw a lot is Mind Controls. Mind Control is really good, especially during the mirror match, because you activate this, you target Rise Hearts, and then you take control of it, and then when resolved, Mind Control is banished because any cards on the field is sent to the graveyard is banished instead because of Rise Hearts effects. This will trigger a Rise Heart effect to attach any cards banished to the graveyard, and if you Mind Control something else, and it also triggers a Rise Hearts effects, which also allows you to activate Triple Tactical's talents, or you can Mind Control your opponent's Fenrir and then triggers Rise Hearts, and then your the Fenrir you take control would activate new Chain Link to banish 1 face-up card on the field, which is a plus a lot. And also the 1 Triple Tactics, this card is really insane if you get to resolve it, especially during your own turns. When you're going first, I also cite this a lot because I have a lot of going first card that I can search because of this, and also going second you can search for things like Mind Control, I just show you guys, and also the cards I will show you guys later. For any other going second cards you can search by Triple Tactics is of course the 3 Evenly Match. This card is a clear border, especially during a rogue deck. This card hurts a lot. Against the mirror match, you activate this, they banish a lot of the things. If they don't have ways to extend their monster or filter out, they're gonna lose a lot of resources during that turn. And for going first, the tactics target would be 2 Dimensional Barrier and 2 a pointer of the Red Lotus. I was playing 3 Red Lotus until I realized that this card does not that much harmful against tier elements, but if you activate Dimensional Barrier, they are forced to give up 1 turn, and that hurts a lot. If they don't fusion or anything during your own turns, and during back to your turns, you go in like draw standby main phase, and you don't do anything, you just go into battle phase, they are forced to activate the Kashtira tier elements effects, and they have ways to out it. They got no answer to it. And a pointer is for going second. If you use its effect to banish a card from their hand, and if you have a Rise Heart on the field, you can trigger a Rise Heart and attach that specific card you banish to each material. So during the end phase, you didn't have to return it to your opponents, and also you get to see all your opponent's hand, and you can prepare for the next turn to push for games. And of course, the best going first card is 3 Solemn Judgments, because this deck loses to reward removal, loses to a lot of things. That's why I play the Solemn instead of the anti-spell fragrance. Of course, spell fragrance hurts a lot as well, but I still prefer the Solemn. So guys, that's it for the deck profile. Hope you guys enjoy it. I think I will be using this list during the League Cup main event, but I might change it because the ban list is dropping soon, and God knows when it is. So after the tournament, I will make another deck profile of how I make the deck even further, but who knows, maybe I'll be changed that by then, but hopefully I don't. So any other question you guys wanted to know, be sure to let me know down in the comments below. I will explain everything and answer everything. I read every single comment, and hope you guys enjoy it. Be sure to sub to the channel, and take care everyone.